Hi, everybody. This is Edward Palumbo again, and I'm still running for the Sanders board. Now, all this time I've been running for the Sanders board, I've been called out one time for being a bully during the debate and saying that um, I I was a bully. Real life, I was calling a board member out named Ron Barnes for a sudden tear. I asked them questions such as uh, more pay for direct pay staff and his and transportation that we all need in the sudden tier. Um, about the incident that happened um, with COVID, and of course the way that OPWDD staff, house staff, were treating the residents, and his staff just said, "Oh, he cannot handle hard questions." Well, I'll tell you what. Duh. Where is the hard questions are a B? If you're a board member, you're gonna have to answer those hard questions. I did. That's why I made 37 to 35 boards. That's why I made presentations. They were hard, they were difficult, and they were not promising, but they were there. The 3 minutes that I have now going in this campaign speech is really the roughest thing in the world that I have to do. I'm calling out my opponent, actually 3 opponents, and the other opponent is going after him too. Same thing. What was he doing as a board member? He's vice president. Why couldn't he say, as vice president, I went with the executive committee, in front of the governor to talk about these matters, about more pay for direct staff, more equal opportunity for people who live in residence, more and more places to go in Dayhab and places to live, like like the residentials, or maybe even getting choice and and yeah, and self termination and self direction. I called him on it, but in fact I called him on all these things. His staff said, "Well, he's too hard a question." I just fired back to saying this: "This is not a game. This is a reality. We're living right now in time that we are not playing games here. This is a reality check. All the time that we are filming this campaign about being a board member, Mr. Bonds over there was not there. From one end to another, it became dead quiet. I fired back with every last comment there is. Matter of fact, if you go into the Central New York Self Advocacy campaign for this Zoom meeting, I'm sorry, for this YouTube, excuse me, for this YouTube, you'll see it. You'll see how dead quiet it was. And you'll see that Robert Barnes was not there. He did not answer my questions. He didn't even have the decency, not even do anything. When I call somebody out, it's not meaning that I'm a bully. I am a fighter. I'm still a fighter. I will fight for your rights. I will fight for self termination. I will fight for the staff. for the residents that live in group homes and for those who live like myself independently and do depend on staff. And finally, transportation. I did it. Let me tell you a story. I did it before when I said I was going to eliminate the waiting list and put self-determination and self-direction on the map. Governor Pataki at that time did make self-determination and self-direction a main law, as we know now. I was, at the time, I and the rest of my colleagues, and this was in the late 1920s, this was in the 20s, early 20th century, 1990s to 2001 when I was there, 2001, 2002. We what they call us, we bashed all this, all the MCs, which is Medicaid service coordinators, and any other staff that was connected with Pataki. At the time, Steve Holmes was begging me and the rest of us not to do it, not to do it, not to do it. They were scared to come near the board of directors where I was sitting and my colleagues. Why? They were afraid of the truth. They were afraid that when we asked questions that were so hard that they couldn't even answer them. These are people who are supposed to be knowledgeable in all things and disabilities. Now I'm going to do it again for staff, for staff pay, and for staff, and to hire more staff. Finally, to get staff decent training. I have been in one situation where I went to a staff with my staff. I'm not going to say her name, but I was with her. This guy did not know anything about people with disabilities, period. I only worked with him for only 2 weeks. I did not say anything. I've written all of it, and you can check this out. I have it right here in front of me. He only worked with ex-cons, drug addicts, and alcoholism, and people who had not mental disabilities but psychological disabilities. He had no idea how to work with people with developmental disabilities. No idea. Autism, he had no idea. Down syndrome, no idea. Mentally challenged, no idea. Deaf, hearing impaired, no idea. I've written all this down. Didn't say a word. When 11 o'clock came around, he threw us both out. Why? Because he said it was a couple of things were personal. Well, guess what? It wasn't personal. It was just normal training. I have the thing. Called his boss, and he said, regulations. My foot. We receive these services. We're allowed to go to these trainings. That is what we, as we receive these services, do. We're consumers, and I'm here to use that label consumers, but we consume these products. We need these services. We require these services. We require people who are trained at this. The higher pay, the higher trained people. People who are trained at OPWDD, with OPWDD people who know this job, who have spent time more than years, years, and even decades in this profession. And that goes to every organization there is. ARC here at Springbrook, Kelman Center, you name the even Pathfinder Village. These are people who know what developmental disabilities are. They should be trained by people that know this field, not some jackass from an educational point that only deals with drunks, ex-cons, and those with psychological disabilities. This is what I'm going to be running as board member, and I hope you do vote for Edward Palumbo. If I made a long-winded speech, then it is as it is. Okay? I am not Donald Trump. I never will be that jackass. Excuse my language. But I am Edward Palumbo. I have experience. I've done it. I have done 36, 35 of these boards, 20 and 20 presentations, and a lot of advocating for you. Please, please make sure you vote for the right person, Edward Palumbo. Thank you very much, and God bless you.